folks, welcome back to the channel. Happy Gatty Crypto here. So I hope you had a really nice Sunday. Sorry for the lack of content from my side. I'm currently just juggling, daily life-to-life things like most people. So there's this whole kind of situation playing out and people are asking on both sides, and there's arguments from both sides of the coin, so to speak. So if we look recently as to what's happened, you will have noticed that they put forward a proposal to remint 50% of all coins that are burned in order to put them to funding the community pool. So there's a lot of issues that arise with this, and it really was a 50-50 kind of thing. Some people voted for it, some people didn't. Some people voted no, and some people just noed with a veto as for whatever reason. You should really only know with a veto on scam proposals, because ultimately the person is going to lose their deposit, and every idea is not a bad idea unless it's a scam, right? So reminting coins that are burned, for starters, is definitely not sustainable. But the question to ask when someone puts in a proposal like this is, how are you then in order going to replace the funding for the community pool? Because it is funding nonetheless, and the community pool desperately needs funding right now because of the simple fact that we're going to be having to pay for every update. Every time Rebel Station needs anything doing, we're going to have to pay for it, and it's as simple as that. So funding the community pool is really important. So like I was saying, the issue is, how do we then fund the community pool? And we'll get onto that shortly. So what are kind of the penances that we're going to be paying? Well, we can't rely on burning coins to support the community pool, because eventually you'll dry up the burn incentive, which in turn will dry up the funding of the community pool. So we did vote no for this, but obviously that's what consensus and governance is all about. It can really be a close tie on things. So somewhere to look currently for a solution is with what Edward Kim's currently been discussing about the Oracle rewards pool, and how it's not going to run out as long as certain things don't happen and stuff like that. But that's all for another video, because I think there's one thing that people always forget, which is Murphy's Law. And no one can prove Murphy's Law, for the simple fact that if you tried to conduct any tests, they would all fail on the basis that what can go wrong will go wrong, which is what Murphy's Law is. Anyway, Ed is speaking about this situation that we actually have one of the lowest gas fees out there in crypto, and we're not competitive in a sense of that we don't follow the same kind of route that other cryptocurrencies do, because the tax fees on NFT projects are kind of what helps NFT projects continue to function and pay out rewards and stuff like that. But across board, our gas fees should be competitive, and we should always be understanding that, well, realistically, our gas fees are actually relatively cheap compared to everything else. So Edward Kim, he's speaking about readjusting the tax system to in whole tackle what we're seeing as an issue of not only the Oracle rewards pool, but you could, split this out carefully to the community pool as well. Because the thing I find with a proposal when it just throws out a random number of 50% is there's not really been a great deal of data collecting to back up why they're choosing that 50% number. It's just kind of like, we'll just take 50% of everything and we'll call it that. But I feel like if people provide accurate data as to why they've set those percentages, it would help back the case up in the future, because Lunar Classic has a hyperinflated supply, and a lot of the people that, attach themselves to the community came because we burn so much, and we're around this idea of the small man, or the small person, or small woman, or human, unless you're an alien, of course, has an opportunity to change their life, because that's what a lot of people are in crypto for, is this opportunity to change their life, their future, their family's future, and the people that are around them. So I think this is a really good way to look into solving our community pool funding issue, because like I've been saying, and a lot of people will disagree with this, but it's my own opinion, we can't rely on burn up the taking and reminting of liquidity, because you have to ask yourself the question of Binance, right? CZ Binance is burning around, I think it was $1 million last month. So if that happens this month, we remint 50% of that. You've got to ask yourself the question, what is CZ getting from this? Because they could quite easily just go, well, we're only going to burn 50% of what we were burning before, and we'll just give the 50% to your community pool and get the real good publicity from it directly, make themselves look better and things like that. And I think a lot of people have kind of got it in their head that CZ Binance himself knows that we are going to be that we are reminting 50% of what is burned, because he's so high up. Like, I'm not confused. I'm just questioning a lot of different things, as we should. We shouldn't go off of any kind of, do your own research, which is what I do all the time. Same as what you should be doing. But this is a really, really good way to look into funding for the OC pool and the community pool. And I do solely believe that reminting 50% of what is burned is a huge kick to all the people that have burned and do continue to burn. So the biggest issue is we need funding for the community pool, and to remove what we have got in place right now currently would leave us high and dry with the community pool. So though I'm all for supporting the removal of this, I'm only supporting it if we can figure out a way to fund the community pool, because it's vital that that pool gets funded. Because without that, because we've, as a community, and we voted no for this, regardless of the public image, regardless of, Terra Rebels might not ever even speak to us again because we voted no, for that simple fact. But even with it being a lost vote, and our vote, even with us voting no, didn't mean anything. It wouldn't have changed anything. We still let the community know how we feel about it and the reason why we voted no, so to speak, because now we have to pay for everything, like for every update. And I've seen, and I could say, it's a rumor, but it's not. I've seen a screenshot from someone from Terra Rebels saying that 300k LUNC, $300,000 is not enough to cover V23, which is our next update. So we need to ensure that we've got enough funding in the community pool at all times, no matter what. It's so important. Folks, let me know what you think about all of this. Stay safe, beware of scammers, doppelgangers, anybody pretending to be me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Shut your goddamn